The BRDC British Formula 3 Championship returns to Snetterton this weekend for rounds 19, 20 and 21. This is where the season all kicked off back in March, but it's now the penultimate weekend of the competition, and for those with title ambitions, it's all starting to get very serious as the pressure begins to build. The legendary Spa-Francorchamps circuit took centre stage last time out, and it was Lando Norris who claimed pole position for race 1. It was a busy but clean getaway. Until there was contact at the first corner when Alec Tuivinen and Eugene Dennison collided. That immediately brought out the safety car. On the restart, there was an almighty battle between Lando Norris and championship leader Ricky Collard. Collard had the slipstream, and by Les Combes he was ahead. However, Norris was having none of it, and on the very next lap returned the favour in exactly the same place. Collard then slipped back into the clutches of Matthias Leist, who also wanted a piece of the action and again used the high-speed tow up the Camel Straight to dive through. The race came to an abrupt end though after Akil Rabindra and Quinlan Lal locked wheels, launching Lal into a scary roll. With the red flags out, Lando Norris was declared the winner.
I'm not really kind of going for championship lead or anything. Yeah, a win's good, and we'll see how the next race goes.
For race 2, it was Al-Faisal Al-Zubair at the front. As everyone fought it out, locking wheels into the first corner, Lando Norris was forced out wide and dropped back. Then, after a couple more laps, he was forced to retire. As the pack headed up to Les Combes, it was Tarun Reddy who was trying very hard to fight off the charging Toby Sowery for the race lead. It was soon a three-way battle as Tom Randall closed in. As they reached the bus stop, Sowery made a lunge and was through to the head of the field. And then Randall dived past Reddy to take second. Randall then quickly caught Sowery and blasted past him to take the lead before heading to his second win of the year.
After yesterday's woeful race, to come back today from 9th to win the race on the last lap, it could have been any better, really.
Race 3 had Will Palmer on pole for the final showdown at Spa. It was another frantic start. And despite a couple running wide, everyone made it around the hairpin at La Source. As they charged up the hill, Matthias Leist tried for the lead, but couldn't make it, allowing Ricky Collard to push through. Leist then tried to retake second next time around. He drafted past Collard along the straight, only to find Lando Norris flying through to pass them both. Norris wasn't done though. He managed to hunt down Will Palmer and shoot through for the lead. On this, his 4th win of the year.
I couldn't rest up it the tiniest bit or make any mistakes. But yeah, overall it was obviously a really good result.
In the championship, the man in charge at the moment is Ricky Collard, but he only has a 4-point advantage over the young Brazilian Matthias Leist, with Tom Randall 3rd ahead of Toby Sowery. A man who took a race win here at the start of the season was Anam Ahmed. Since then, his championship challenge may be over, but he's going for more race wins.
I think so. I hope that they, all the guys, think about each other and fighting each other, so then I can come through to take the win. But we'll see. I think there's a lot of tension now on the weekend, so you can definitely see it between all 3 of them, because I think there's a lot at stake for them. But we'll see how it goes.
It was great to see other drivers getting in on the action at the front at Spa. Tarun Reddy was right in there in race 2 and came close to the win.
I think we're the highest placed in the championship without a win, so I mean, obviously the pace is there, we've got a couple of podiums, and now I think it's a little bit more of an effort from the team and myself to push for that win, and hopefully we can get that before the end of the season, and if not, score a couple more podiums and just end the season high.
Matthias Leist has been on great form lately, racking up the points and dragging himself right into contention for the 2016 crown.
Yeah, it's really close right now. I think after Silverstone probably set the pace, so from Collard, of course. So yeah, I'm happy with the points that I scored, and trying to score more points this weekend to have a little bit of advantage for the last round.
The cars on the grid, ready for race 1 of the weekend. Matthias Leist lining up second, but the man on pole position, third pole of the year, is the championship leader, Ricky Collard. The first 16-lap race about to get underway. Collard in the blue car on pole position. Lights are red, engine notes rise. When the lights go out now, we're racing. Good start by Collard. He's the man who leads the pack away on the run down towards Riches for the first time. Enzo Bortoletto works his way through in number 85, trying to gain a place on the inside line as the cars turn out of Riches and head up towards the Wilson hairpin for the first time. So Collard it is from Leist, the top two. Toby Sowery running third, and a good qualifying effort by Ben Hinchley, fourth on the grid. He is trying to stay in that leading group as well. Ricky Collard working his way through the infield, then trying to make good his escape, although Matthias Leist staying with him. Great battle on for fourth place. Ben Hinchley keeping Harrison Scott at bay as the Carlin car, number 99, the dark blue entry of Nikita Mazepin, works around the outside on board with Tom Maxwell. Mazepin, a regular this year for High-Tech in the FIA Formula 3 European Championship, driving a very different sort of car, as way wide goes Maxwell, losing places hand over fist. He got squeezed out wide coming through Hamilton, and that's cost him dear. Inam Ahmed also gaining ground up on the inside through Williams, and onto Bentley Straight they run for the first time. 16 laps or 30 minutes, depending on which comes first. And Ricky Collard here after a fourth win of the championship. He leads the way. Side by side behind there, trying to dive up the inside. Tom Randall, there's contact between him and Inam Ahmed, who's off the road. And Ahmed digs in and goes over. Ends up upside down. Broken suspension, but rather more significantly is the fact that the driver is upside down. That is going to be a safety car, I would have thought, to right the car and to get him out of harm's way, safe and sound. So big drama at the end of Bentley Straight, and that was two teammates at Douglas Motorsport getting it together. Tom Randall tried to attack Inam Ahmed, and Ahmed flipped upside down, but the broken suspension as well not helping. So the marshals are there, the safety car deployed, but they need more marshals, I think, to lift it so that Inam Ahmed can scramble out. Let's have another look at it. Randall gets up the inside, but he wasn't fully alongside. Contact is made, and as the car with broken suspension goes across the grass, it digs in and then flips upside down. This is how Ahmed saw it. He's ahead, there's the contact, round he goes. Broken suspension, so the car's tilting anyway. Then it digs in, then it goes over. And this, the view from behind. Nikita Mazepin, new to this championship, thinking, blimey, it's all a bit chaotic, isn't it, up the road as two teammates drive into each other. He gains a place, and Inam Ahmed then is safe and sound, and the race will carry on here after the break. Welcome back to Snetterton, race 1 of the weekend for the BRDC British F3 contingent. Ricky Collard leads Matthias Leist, leads Toby Sowery. We are about to end a safety car period caused by a rather spectacular inversion for Inam Ahmed. And Ricky Collard, who's had 3 race wins this year, who leads the championship, leads the race, and he intends to convert this race lead into another win. He will try to break away on the restart. The safety car making its way then down towards the pit lane. It will peel in, and then we are going to be good to go. Collard it is then leading the pack through Coram. He accelerates now and makes a really good restart. Matthias Leist falls away. Collard then turns left, accelerates up towards the timing line. Round 19 of the championship back underway. On board now with Harrison Scott as he tries to make a move against Ben Hinchley over the timing line. This race, 16 laps or 30 minutes. And because of the safety car period, expect it to go to time, not laps. As Scott looks for a way past the reigning Formula Jedi champion. Ben Hinchley fends him off though as they work their way round Riches. The HHC Motorsport teammates battle their way up towards Wilson through the hairpin. Up the inside in the dark blue car, Nikita Mazepin gaining a place, and others also trying to shuffle the order, including Enzo Bortoletto, who is on the back of Alex Huvenen. Up front and getting away, Ricky Collard. Inam Ahmed, a race winner when they came to Snetterton back in March. He's also in this race, though, been the reason for the safety car after being upside down. Contact between him and his teammate, Thomas Randall. In the meantime, the race leader, Ricky Collard, tries to make good his escape here. He was being chased early on by Matthias Leist, and the gap is widening a little between the top two. Through the infield, out of Hamilton, up towards Oggies goes the next wave of cars, all hunting down the places in the bottom end of the top six. In 27 is Alex Hooven, and even further down, and another challenge being made there. Look, you can see by 23, Tom Maxwell. He lost a whole heap of places early on in the Sean Walkinshaw racing car. Maxwell then tries to fight back as they run along Bentley Straight now. Moves to the outside, gets himself up alongside to challenge Akhil Rabindra in the Lannan racing car for position round the outside, and through he goes. Brundle and Nelson, the two elements of the S's, and it pays out there because Maxwell is the man who goes round the outside to gain the place. Meantime, the race leaders work their way up towards the completion of the lap. Matthias Leist is the man hunting down Ricky Collard. On board with Harrison Scott, up past the pits, a quick glance at the pit board, and then concentrate on trying to make the move down towards Riches. Evenly matched cars means that it's so hard to overtake in this category in any slicks and wing single-seater championship, to be fair. And Harrison Scott then now is trying to force a mistake out of Ben Hingley and then capitalise. Is it going to be possible though? Not yet. So the battle on between the two teammates as Ricky Collard continues to lead the way, and look at the advantage he's pulling now. He's getting further and further away from Leist, who in turn has got Toby Sowery hunting him down. Another good fight there. Nikita Mazepin defending. Right up behind him is Quinlan Lal. The American game much better here than at Spa when he had that big off. Of course, one of the things that Lal has struggled with this year is going to new circuits. Well, he's raced here before, he's got some knowledge, he's got some data, and he can put that to good use now as he tries to find a way past Mazepin. Most venues they go to just once a year, but of course they started at Snetterton. It's a return visit here to the Norfolk circuit. In hot and sunny conditions here this weekend, it is Ricky Collard, the race leader, and he's building the gap. His dad had a good weekend here last weekend, putting himself into the lead of the British Touring Car Championship, and Ricky, championship leader in BRDC British F3, is a race leader as well. And a drama there for Quinlan Lal, who's got it all wrong, going through the old S's, spins it round, people dodge left and right in avoidance. Tarun Reddy in number 14, the red and white car, he was delayed. Reddy in the Fortec car manages to get through but loses time as a consequence as the race leaders now work their way down to the end of the lap. Nikita Mazepin goes through now on his own. Tarun Reddy has dropped a long way back. Alex Hooven is not that far behind him. Eugene Dennison is next in the queue. And then there's Enzo Bortoletto being chased by Amelia Valinathan as they work their way over the line. Replay as Quinlan Lal turns through the first part of the S's just with too much speed. Gets it wrong, bounces over the curb. Quinlan Lal back in the race, but badly delayed now. He's lost chunks of time as a result of that spin. But thankfully, there is no damage, so he can carry on, use this as a test session in a sense. There you've got 45, Harrison Scott in the HHC Motorsport car, hunting down his teammate Ben Hingley, the reigning Formula Jedi champion, the best we've seen this year out of Hingley. Harrison Scott, who's come from the MSA Formula, the British Formula 4 Championship effectively, now closing up onto his teammate, but taking with him the Australian driver Tom Randall in the Douglas Motorsport car. Randall might have a bit of a case to answer against his teammate when they get back to the paddock at the end of the race, because it was him that got involved with the airborne Enam Ahmed earlier on. Ahmed out of the race, and of course one Douglas Motorsport car out, the other one rather delayed, so down in 6th place at the moment is Randall. Perhaps there might be a little bit of damage just affecting the pace of that car, a legacy of the earlier incident. As up towards the timing line now comes Harrison Scott. And looking at the clock, we are going to hit the time rather than the number of laps. 30 minutes, thanks to the safety car, is what we're going to achieve, as there on his own is Ricky Collard. Now what's going on behind? Leist has shaken off Sowery. Toby Sowery there in 3rd place in the Lannan racing car, the red and white car. He's in 3rd, but he's falling away from Leist. Is he in danger of being caught by the HHC twins behind him? It's still Hingley ahead of Scott. That gap not looking as though it's coming down. Enzo Bortoletto keeping Vaidyanathan at bay. Double R versus Carlin. Maya Vaidyanathan, of course, fully recovered after his big accident at Alton Park. Enzo Bortoletto was the man that started the airborne trend at Rockingham. And running wide once again is Tom Maxwell. He did it wider earlier on in the race and lost places. This time he just loses a bit of ground to those ahead of him. Down they come. They're out of the draft to have a look there. Tom Randall pulls up, pulls back in again. Nikita Mazepin looking like an impressive rookie in these cars, keeping Tarun Reddy at bay. Then it's Alex Hyvönen, who went well here at the start of the season, but Hyvönen hasn't really been able to maintain that pace for the rest of the year. Hyvönen's second in the first race of the season. That remains his best result yet. Enzo Bortoletto through. He's been on the podium a couple of times this season. He had a pole position as well here back in March for the second of the 3 races. There, turning through in 23 and pushing on as well as ever is Tom Maxwell in the SWR car, but the ground he's lost early on, I'm afraid, looks like it's too much to make up for him now. Up towards the timing line he comes. Ricky Collard, though, continues to dominate up front. Over the timing line goes Maxwell. The 2 Toms, the 2 Australians, but split across different teams. SWR, Sean Walkinshaw racing for Tom Maxwell, fighting the car through Riches, running wide as Ricky Collard continues to dominate. He's done the fastest lap of the race as well. It is going to be a triple whammy, and crucially, race order is championship order. That means that the gaps are opening up between each of the 4 drivers up in the leading positions. So Collard, Leist, Sowry, nobody outscoring the other, therefore bringing down the gap. Collard's advantage in the championship is set to increase after this. Now there in 45 is Harrison Scott, who is falling away from Ben Hingley, and he's being caught now by Tom Randall. That battle is shaping up nicely for 5th and 6th places as the race leader Ricky Collard is on his last lap now. There in 2nd place is Matthias Leist. He's in the point, but will be frustrated that the gap widens. Toby Sowry likewise 3rd, but 4th place man Ben Hingley set for his best result of the year. He's going to be very pleased with that indeed. And Harrison Scott, who's only done a part season, staying in touch as well. Lando Norris, of course, who has been a multiple race winner this year, not here this weekend. He's away racing in Formula Renault in Holland, and it means that the way clear is for Ricky Collard to score a 4th win of the season. Checkered flag at the ready. Ricky Collard wins at Snetterton. The championship leader defeats Matthias Leist for 2nd place. It's going to be Toby Sowry for 3rd, and Ben Hingley will come through for his best of the year in 4th place. A great effort. 5th over the line, Harrison Scott. It's Tom Randall in 6th. But Ricky Collard takes pole, win, fastest lap, and increases the championship lead. It's an interesting top 8 with newcomer Nikita Mazepin being 8th behind Tarun Reddy. Tom Randall only 6th behind Harrison Scott. A very happy Ben Hingley 4th behind Toby Sowry and Matthias Leist. But Ricky Collard is the race winner.
Yeah, fantastic start. It's been a really good, strong weekend for myself and for all the boys at Carlin. So just got to try and continue this form in race 2 and race 3 as well.
Still a lot of points, that I gained, but he finished 1st, so maybe in the end it could make the difference, But let's see. I think we just need to do a few changes in the car, and then it's going to be good.
It's unfortunate that 2 of the leading guys in the championship are 1st and 2nd in that race, so we've got to have a big push. We're starting in front of them for the next race, so we've got to maximise that opportunity and then hopefully get a fastest lap as well to put ourselves in front again for the last race.
It's a very happy Ricky Collard. 4th time this year he's been on the top step of the podium. And earlier in the week, we caught up with Quinlan Lyle, who this year has moved to Oxford from the other side of the pond to compete in F3. It's a very different lifestyle from that of New Jersey.
Coming from America to Britain was definitely kind of the logical step. I mean, everyone comes to England to race, and it's kind of the proving ground for all the young drivers. To be able to compare to drivers here is being able to compare to drivers all around the world. And if you're able to do well, you can race against anyone and have a chance at winning. The living style is definitely different over here, and it's taken a little bit to get used to, but once you do get used to it, it's very nice. I enjoy Oxford, I enjoy England, and I think it's definitely a unique place, and it has its own ups and downs, and yeah, I like staying here this year. It's really nice. The main purpose over here was for racing, to come over and race and compete, and I think we've done a very good job of that, and a really solid job of learning a lot and gaining the experience to carry into other series of racing.
Quinlan is still studying for a high school diploma back home in the US, so when not behind the wheel of a Formula 3 car, he's driving a computer.
The average week for me is really a lot of training. I train a lot. On top of that, I do classes, so online schooling. So I build credits for my high school diploma back at home. So I'm taking math, so that's pre-calculus, English, US history, science, so I'm doing chemistry. Then there's obviously a health class coupled with physical education, which being that I go to the gym is not a tough class to do, and Spanish as well, foreign language. This year's, you can class it as a really big year of learning. You know, coming over, it's completely different formats, styles, everything from back at home. From every single mistake that I've made this year, I've managed to learn and recover. And you know, I think now coming towards the end of the season, we have a really good chance of showing how much hard work has actually gone into this season. The car's coming along, I'm learning a lot still on how to drive better, and I think we can really charge forward in the last few races. Everything that I've learned this year, I can definitely carry into any team, any car that I'll drive next year, and it will really pay benefits. I can start off where I end this year and keep growing.
Quinlan Lyle starts this second race, penultimate on the grid. He's got work to do when we come back after the break. For round 20 of the BRDC British F3 Championship, we're at Snetterton. The top 8 finishers in race 1 reversed for the grid for race 2. That means that newcomer Nikita Mazepin here is on pole position. He will have Tarun Reddy with him at the front of the grid. It's a very windy day now, and that certainly is going to affect single-seater racing cars with aerodynamic aids. And Inam Ahmed straight into the pit lane rather than going to the grid. Ben Hingley is in the pit lane as well, so 2 very quick drivers in the pits. We're ready to go. 16 laps in prospect, round 20 of the BRDC British F3 Championship. Green flag shows that those that we're anticipating are back from the warming up lap. Nikita Mazepin on pole position now, looks towards the lights. They go red, engine notes rise when the lights go out now. They're away, and a good start made by Harrison Scott, but the best start of all comes from Mazepin. He blasts away to lead Tarun Reddy down towards Riches for the first time. Trying to dive up the inside as well there. Tom Randall in 49, and he loses out to Harrison Scott up the curve, and Scott goes third. A really brave move that up the inside line. Nikita Mazepin, having done the young driver test at Silverstone straight after the British Grand Prix for Force India, he leads the way. And switching from the FIA European Formula 3 Championship to the BRDC British equivalent as he works his way through the infield for the first time. He's new to the circuit, he's new to these cars, but he's doing a very good job with, of course, a very good team. Trevor Carlin's eponymous team running him in second place, Tarun Reddy, and then third, Harrison Scott, as they work their way round Agostini. Through the infield for the first time, and Mazepin trying to make good his escape. Now, remember, with this grid being the top 8 finishers of race 1 reversed, it means that Ricky Collard starts behind championship rival Matthias Leist. He's got to try and get ahead of him. Leist there in 26, Collard in 11, the dark blue car right on his tail. So for the moment, Leist is outscoring Collard, narrowing that gap in the championship. Both want to work their way up the order. Collard wants to be ahead of Leist though. Clipping the floppy markers coming through Brundle and Nelson. The race leader, Nikita Mazepin, is getting away here. He drew attention to himself earlier on in the year for a rather pugilistic escapade at the Hungaroring in Formula 3, but he's put all that behind him now. And adapting well to these cars and to this circuit. He drove in Formula Renault last year and now spreading his wings a little bit further. So, battle on for second, third and fourth places. Tarun Reddy second, there, third, Harrison Scott going well. And fourth, chasing on behind, is Tom Randall. Over the line they come. In fifth is Toby Sowry. Now remember, Sowry there, looking the red and white car number 8, the Lannon Racing entry. He's ahead of Leist and he's ahead of Collard. Very important for him in the championship, that, because he's outscoring the pair, therefore narrowing that margin just a little. Collard here looking for a way up past 26, which is Matthias Leist. Ahead of the pair is the other double R car in the hands of Alex Huvenen as they work their way through the infield once more. Down towards Agostini. Now, is that a chance for Collard to dive up the inside? Let's see. They get to the braking zone. He thought about pulling to the inside, but then thought better of it. Matthias Leist powering his way then now up towards Hamilton. He's got Collard tucked up behind. Leist 3 times a winner, Collard 4 times a winner, and indeed the championship leader. It took Ricky a long time to bag the first win of the season, but since then he has been the man to beat. It's a shame in a sense that Lando Norris isn't doing a full year, because whenever he's here, he's always in that leading battle as well. But with him away in Holland in Formula Renault this weekend, it leaves Ricky Collard a golden chance to keep on scoring points and try and increase that championship lead if he can. there for Carlin. Nikita Mazepin flings the car through the old S's, bounces off the curb a little bit. But he is getting away. Now, can he score a first win here? He's got Tarun Reddy chasing after him, and then Harrison Scott dropping away just ever so slightly into the clutches now of Tom Randall. To the timing line they come once more. We get a replay of the start here. Lights go out, and a really good getaway by Nikita Mazepin. Collard also quick out of the blocks, tries to move across to defend, and this is how Tom Randall saw it. Tarun Reddy off the staggered grid, able to move across and defend. Then he pulls to the outside line to try to challenge for the race lead, but up the inside dives Harrison Scott. Randall goes wide and loses third place. Looking back from Amaya Vaidyanathan's car, a good getaway by Tom Maxwell. He makes the move up the inside in the SWR car. Teammate, or former teammate, Jan Jonk missing this weekend, so Maxwell upholding SWR honour, but not quite being able to make the move work there. Now that leading train is starting to become longer. If anything, the lead gap is dwindling, isn't it, now, because Nikita Mazepin is not being allowed to escape. They're starting to stack up behind him. Lice keeping Collard at bay, and in fact, Ricky Collard looking as though he might just be dropping back a little bit. There's the race leader up towards the completion of the lap, and you can see how much closer now Tarun Reddy, number 14 there, has got to the race leader. So Nikita Mazepin for Carlin leads the way. In second spot, Tarun Reddy goes through for Fortec. Richard Dutton's team running the second place car. HHC third in the hands of Harrison Scott there. Look, the blue and white car third. Up towards the Wilson hairpin they go. And under braking, is there a chance for anybody to dive up the inside? Not really in this little group. Nobody close enough to the car ahead. Harrison Scott turning his way through the infield once more, down towards Agostini. And that lead that Nikita Mazepin did have, nowhere near as large. So does this give Tarun Reddy a chance to get onto his tail before the end of the race? He's not got that many laps left, looking at the clock and looking at the amount of time that he's got in the race as Matthias Lice turns his way through. Lice here, stuck behind his teammate Alex Huvenen. He could do with getting past Huvenen because the points will be very gratefully received. But of course, even though you drive in the same team, it's every man for himself in junior single-seater racing, so don't anticipate Huvenen's going to just get out of the way. Lice here is going to have to fight for it. Remember, Douglas Motorsports drivers had to fight for it in race 1 and ended up tangling with Inam Ahmed upside down. Inam Ahmed did join in from the pit lane, but he's a lap adrift now after his problems pre-race. Through goes Toby Sowery. Sowery here is the man benefiting. He's ahead of both Lice and Collard. So he is gaining points relative to the other two in the championship as the rest flick their way through Brundle and Nelson. So there, 27, Alex Huvenen. He was impressive here at the start of the season, but since then the Finn has really struggled a little bit, whereas Matthias Lice, who last year drove in the MSA Formula, now British F4, he has been the quicker of the double R drivers and catches up there. Look, coming up towards the end of the lap, a mistake made by Huvenen. That puts Lice right onto his tail. Lice gets a tow, goes to the outside line. Side by side, past the pits, Matthias Lice has his nose in front. He needs this place, he needs these points, and he also needs Collard to get stuck behind Huvenen, and that's exactly what happens. Round the outside, Matthias Lice gains the place. That puts him now up into the top 6. But now he's got to hope that his teammate will be able to repel the challenge of Collard, because they're running together as they work their way down towards the next fast left-hander. Through Palmer, on towards Agostini they go. Lice is getting away, but can Huvenen fend off Collard to the checkered flag? He wants desperately to win this. And he works his way through Hamilton, up now towards Oggies, through the right, and then on towards the right-hander of Williams that loops them onto the Bentley straight. Is Collard close enough to think about making a move? Very quick ex-Carter, Ricky Collard, came via the MSA Formula into this BRDC British F3 Championship, renamed at the start of the season. Now the championship leader aiming to score more and more points, but second in the race is still up for grabs as well, because there, look, you've got Tarun Reddy fending off Harrison Scott. Both of them ex-MSA Formula drivers, and down they come to the completion of the lap. Through onto the pit straight goes the race leader, which is Nikita Mazepin, and it looks as though it is going to be a race win for the Russian driver, because Nikita Mazepin for Carlin wins round 20 of the BRDC British F3 Championship. Second, Tarun Reddy, and third to Harrison Scott. The rest of the field pouring up towards the line. And where is Ricky Collard going to finish? He is ahead of Hyvönen, and that means, therefore, he's on the tail of Matthias Leist. But Nikita Mazepin it is who scores victory in only his second race in these cars. Nikita Mazepin dominates the race, but at the other end of the top 8, Hyvönen drops behind Collard, who is behind Leist, who's behind Sowry. So Toby, the beneficiary here in the championship. Tom Randall off the podium behind Harrison Scott, Tarun Reddy, and first-time winner Nikita Mazepin.
Yeah, I mean, awesome, great feeling. Yeah, it's first weekend. You know, the guys had 12 experience this year, and yeah, to finish first in race 2 is a great opportunity, and I'm just really happy. And yeah, it's obvious to say that without Carlin I could have not done this. The car was just amazing, and everyone is really good.
Yeah, I mean, I was really wanting that win. I thought I got a good start. I pushed Nikita quite hard in the first half of the race. And then the second half, I mean, my understeer got a bit too much and I couldn't really keep up with him. But another podium, can't really complain with that.
To get third in the second race here was really good. Obviously, we started P4, so managed to get a good start and get up into that podium position straight away.
A great first win for Nikita Mazepin. Another one of our international drivers is Enzo Bortoleto, usually found in Sao Paulo in Brazil. He now lives in the UK with his manager Jose Sabate, and it's a very different lifestyle.
I'm really liking it. I don't have all my friends here, my family, my brother that I miss a lot, but I'm very nice here with Jose, all his family. We're very close to each other, so yeah, it's been amazing. We were looking to a lot of championships for this year, and I think on the end, I think we found that British F3 was like the best, got an awesome budget for what it offers, you know. And the car's pretty good this year. I think all it changed, like chassis and the tires and all the aero packs, so the car's very strong.
Away from the track, there is one thing on Enzo's mind: fitness in preparation for his next time in the car.
I have a big lake, so it's like 6 km around all the lake, so it's very nice. Normally I do 2 days in a week, I go around 1 or 2 laps, so that's very nice. I play squash with Jose sometimes, and it's quite tough. But yeah, it's been amazing. Like, the weather is not the best as Brazil, but being pretty good. Last weekend we had I think it was the summer here in England, so yeah, it was fine. I think for me it was an awesome year. Like, almost all of our finishes is on the top 10, so I think that's very important also. And we're just managing to do good races, to get the points. Every race was a different kind of learning. We have some awesome weekends, and we have also like not so good ones, as the last one at Spa. For me as a driver, I would like to race in some nice category, you know, like WEC and DTMs or Le Mans maybe, so, and obviously F1 if we get, but I think it's a lot of politics and a lot of money involved to it. Nowadays I think it's just like get paid from what you love doing. That's the main goal.
Enzo Bortoleto starts this very windy third race from 12th on the grid. He's got work to do. Pole position though, Ricky Collard, this grid based on a driver's faster lap across the weekend. So Collard and Leist, the two fighting for the championship, are the two fighting for the race win, and they're fighting from the front row for round 21. At the back of the grid, Akhil Rabindra. At the front of the grid, Ricky Collard. They look towards the lights. Engine notes will rise now as the lights go red. Who is going to make the best start? A good getaway by Leist, a good start by Ben Hingley as well, as the cars accelerate down towards Riches for the first time. On board with Tom Randall. Big squeeze going up on the inside. Is he going to be able to drive around the outside and gain places? He's gained one. Harrison Scott ahead of him, but he can't quite level with the Brit. Up to Wilson they go for the first time. It is Collard who has grabbed the advantage from Leist, and then Ben Hingley third as they work their way through Wilson. working their way round the infield for the first time. Collard looking as though he's going to just break away from the rest of them. Quick out of the blocks, and Ricky good on cold tyres, just like his dad is in touring car racing, goes way wide over the curb. In number 7 goes Al-Faisal Al-Zubar. He rattles his way back onto the circuit though now. Tom Randall, with the tyres having grained a bit, you can see the left front having had a pretty difficult day. He works his way up through Hamilton, and there's a big dust cloud ahead as somebody has run wide. Now, who is that going to be? They work their way towards Bentley Straight for the first time. The race leader getting away up front is Ricky Collard. Inam Ahmed there, keeping Harrison Scott at bay as they go onto the straight, down towards the S's for the first time. But Ricky Collard making good his escape. Come the end of the weekend, you're going to have Ricky and Rob, son and father, leading 2 British championships, F3 and touring cars. And somebody off, it's Ricky Collard. The leader gets it wrong, coming out of Brundle and Nelson. Through the bomb hole they go, but now, look, Matthias Leist is all over him as they work their way through Coram. Race leaders absolutely tied together. Down they come, in towards the final left of the lap. Leist not able to take full advantage. He's back in the mix, very definitely, but now he needs to make this pass. He's in the slipstream. This is the golden opportunity to grab the race lead as they work their way down towards Riches into the fast right at turn 1. Collard lucky to hang on to all of that and not lose the race lead. But as they head up towards Wilson, is the advantage going to extend just a little bit? Yes, he's just starting to creep away, isn't he? Leist catches back up under braking, but he's going to lose that time when it all washes out coming out the corner. So Collard pulling away once more. Important not only to win the race, but fundamentally he's got to stay ahead of Leist and keep scoring points and maintain that advantage in the championship. There is only one more weekend to go after this. Only 3 more races at Donington, 10th and 11th of September weekend. So the championship almost at an end. So Ricky Collard needs to go into that round ahead and with a little bit of a buffer if he can. Leist pushing on, runs wide, up over the curb, kicks up the dirt as they wriggle their way now up through Oggies and then towards Williams and then to the Bentley Straight. And look, in the space of a lap, Collard has built the advantage back up once again. The Carlin car leads the way. They work their way down towards the old S's of Brundle and Nelson, and round 21 continues after the break. Welcome back to Snetterton. Round 21 of the BRDC British F3 Championship led by Ricky Collard, but only just after this moment on the very first lap of the race. He built up a big lead, but he pushed too hard going through the left-right flick of the S's. The Nelson and Brundle sequence of corners got it wrong and went off the road, and it gave Matthias Leist here a chance to get right back onto his tail. He wasn't quite able to capitalise, but he was virtually under the rear wing. However, over the rest of the lap, Collard able to break away once more. So the championship leader, the race leader, just a little bit more comfortable once again. There are battles on right the way through the field as there Tom Randall with the kangaroo on the side of the car. The Australian heads Toby Sowry over the timing line. Now Sowry needs to get on with this if he can and try and bag some more points out of this race. Over the line they come. Through the right-hander of Riches, up to what was Montreal, now the Wilson hairpin, through the right-hander. It's normally a golden chance that to dive up the inside and try to do some brave out-braking, but at the moment, the driver's not quite close enough to the car ahead to be able to really capitalise on that overtaking opportunity. On board with Tom Randall, you can see he's a little bit too far back now, so he's got to try and claw back some of the lost time. He does it under braking, but the danger is that it'll wash out a little bit coming out of the corner. Back on the power, he sprints now up towards the left at Hamilton. Turns right at Oggies. Speed building all the time from the next section onto Bentley Straight, but it's hard to stay close to the back of the man ahead of him. The man he's hunting down is Harrison Scott. The man he's fending off is Toby Sowry. Ricky Collard, very definitely the race leader once again. Just look at the way now that he's shaken off Matthias Leist. In third is Ben Hingley. Now, Ben had his best of the season earlier this weekend with 4th in race 1, but third, his first podium of the year, would be a great result. He'll be knocking on the door of that breakthrough result all season. finally it looks like it's going to come this weekend. There in the meantime is Tom Randall working his way in the Douglas Motorsport car through Coram. Fast right, and then it's hard on the brakes, go left. Don't use too much of the curb on the inside. There's that sausage curb put on the inside to be a real deterrent. Do that in a saloon car and use the curb there. You can launch yourself up onto two wheels. You don't want to be doing that in a single-seater. Past the pits now. There you can see Ben Hingley third going through, and Inam Ahmed running in fourth place. Ahmed doing a really good job of, if you like, recovering his weekend in this final race. He was upside down in race 1. He had problems in race 2. Can we get Ahmed onto the podium? It's not going to be easy, but Inam Ahmed then chases on. He's taking Harrison Scott with him, but I fear that gap is just a little too great. There is Ahmed down towards Agostini once more. The race leader, however, Ricky Collard, has built the advantage and looks as though he's on target for win number 5, and it'll be 2 out of 3 for Collard this weekend, although Leist is pushing very, very hard again. Number 2, Quinlan Lal, had a spin early on in the weekend. He also is trying to get himself back into the mix here, chasing after Tarun Reddy. In 49, Tom Randall works his way through Oggies. And again, Randall really frustrated here because he's not quite able to latch onto the tail of the cars ahead. So there's a bit of a stalemate developing up front. How can Randall bring down that gap?